So starting off, we have what we call Camp Maxwell. It's a hub element. It's kind of like a base. You'll return here in between missions. You're able to select your next mission, but also talk to people, change your weapons, that kind of stuff. You can see there's some nice showcases around here, some activities you can try out. You can also get a glimpse of some of the improvements to the graphics that we're making. But to start off, I think we'll show you a special tech demo that we have prepared for you guys. Let's start with the night tech demo. Now, ArmA 3 is now running in DirectX 11, and what this means is we've made a lot of improvements to the graphical fidelity of the game. In particular, we have improved HDR, we have much more dynamic lights. So starting off here, you can see already the nice lens effect on the car here. Our new technology allows for a lot more dynamic lights with much less performance impact. As we zoomed in there, you can see a little bit of the heat particle effects on the fire and stuff like that. Some of you guys might be familiar with this from our E3 presentation, but one of the biggest changes is we've now replaced the NATO forces with the Iranian forces. As we move out, you can get a glimpse of some of the chem lights. The chem lights just add a nice little splash of color into the night sky. You can see we also still have some visibility around. That's mainly because the moon is still out. Yep, see, we can throw a chem light and it too will illuminate the ground. And it's a nice way of marking important locations and such. Some improvements to our muzzle flashes there. You can see that they are all different, and depending on the caliber, they'll look different and such. Plus, they also light up the night sky and will give away your position if you're too careless. But you can see the nice stars up above. They're actually based on real-life data. For example, you could find, if you look up to the right, you could find, for example, the Big Dipper, and by that you can find the North Star, and you can locate where North is. It's just a nice way to tie you into the environment. Yeah, you can see there's the Big Dipper, and just above it will be the North Star. But so if we move on, we're switching on our night vision here. If you could, yep, there you go. On the side of our gun, we currently have a flashlight, but if we go into our inventory screen, we can select a laser pointer. And this is only a special laser that's only visible at nighttime. So if my colleague turns, there you go. So it's particularly useful for pointing out enemy threats, but also for those who don't play with crosshairs. It shows where your gun is actually pointing. The bullets in ArmA always come from the gun itself, not to the center of the screen. So this really drives home that fact. So yeah, that was just a couple of the improvements we made to our lighting technology, especially at nighttime. If we move on, I think we'll show you some vehicles. One major improvement we made in ArmA 3 is we've added much better physics to the game by way of NVIDIA PhysX technology. And what this has allowed us to do is really improve how vehicles handle and such. But look, starting off here, you can see really detailed car interior, working speedometers, but also our picture-in-picture screens. They just really make you feel like you're actually in the vehicle, and they make you feel like much more immersed and engaged and such. You can also see that our hands are now on the steering wheel. They're also attached to the steering wheel now, so as you turn the wheel, they'll turn as well. But if we move up a little bit and switch to third person, we can see as we're driving along some examples of how the vehicles will handle. This is a bit of a lighter vehicle, so it can handle a bit easier than some of the others. Obviously, depending on the weight of the vehicle, it'll handle much heavier, it'll slide around more. Plus, there's also, you really have to factor in momentum now. So when you can't stop on a dime, you have to actually calculate your braking distance and such. Just a nice little improvement to make vehicles handle a lot nicer for ArmA 3. So that was just a quick little look at some of the improvements we made to vehicles for ArmA 3. Well, we can also show off the thermal imaging attack. What we've done here is we've switched to our gunner position of the vehicle, and you can see up ahead we have some enemy patrols, which we might not have been able to see without thermal imaging. But now we'll engage it. We can also switch to the grenade launcher on this vehicle to take out larger groups of enemies. You can also get a glimpse maybe of some of our ragdoll technology, which we've added for ArmA 3. You'll see enemies slump forward, or depending on their direction of travel. They'll also collide with the environment, so they might slump over a rock or something similar. Again, it's just a nice way of keeping you immersed rather than having a single death animation play every time you kill someone. And you could just think to yourself, oh, he's dead, whereas now you have to actually see him fall, and even then they might still be bleeding out by way of our new health system. So yeah, if we move on, we'll show you one last thing, which is supports. Yeah, we'll just get it set up here right now. What ArmA, as I mentioned earlier, the bullets that you shoot from your gun actually come from your gun, and they're actually a projectile in the 3D space. And one way that we can really demonstrate this on a larger scale is with what we call supports. We'll just set it up here for you in a sec. There we go. Okay. So we have different artillery pieces in ArmA 3, and you can use all of them to a certain effect to get it so that you take larger objectives. So here we are, we're just above the airbase on Stratus, which is the island that we're featuring here in Gamescom. You can see beneath us there's a bunch of Iranian forces occupying the airbase. You can see if we exit the map right now, you can see some of the lights as they drive around. You can see all the lights in the base are on. But if we switch to our laser designator, we'll try and locate some anti-air vehicles. There's one right there, yep. We can also swap to our night vision or thermal imaging. And if we zoom in a little bit on the vehicle, we'll call in some artillery on it. So if we open up the artillery menu, we can select different pieces of artillery. For now, we'll select our MLRS, which is a rocket launching APC. We'll choose maybe 9 rockets, because when one's not enough, 9 is quite nice. So right now we'll switch into a different perspective. This is the actual APC that will fire the rockets. And you can see there, off they go into the night sky. And if we look up, we can actually see them traveling. These are the same rockets that will then land at the airfield and take out that anti-air vehicle. Now that we've switched back, we can actually look up to our left here. I think they're somewhere in the sky. You'll be able to see the rockets themselves. I think they're just to the left over there. Other way. But once we find them, they should be higher in the sky, but nonetheless, it looks really cool, and you can really get a sense that these rockets are actually existing in the 3D space. And here they come now. Yeah, it's the exact same rockets, and you can see that they're really doing some damage to the Iranian forces. Of course, we can also finish off the attack by calling in some helicopters, along with some more artillery, perhaps. Again, the helicopters are an actual thing in the 3D environment, so they'll take off from the base that we just saw, and they'll come and they'll actually attack the armor in the town and the base. But once they're in, they'll take out all the armor, and then NATO ground forces will be able to move in. Yeah. So if we switch right now, we can get a glimpse of the helicopter taking off, perhaps. There you go. So yes, that was just a good example of just the scale that we are going for in ArmA 3. So yeah, that's some of what we have to offer here at Gamescom 2012. Thanks for joining us.